And hi, everybody. Welcome to Serenity Cards and Coaching. Today we are focused on Awash in Beauty. And oh my goodness, these cards are so pretty. Melody, I see you may not need to hop out. Anybody, just come and go as you need to. So I'm recording it and we'll have the replay. So here's the 4 cards that we're going to be working with today. First of all, this one, Faith Over Fear. I just love this sentiment. And it's just a nice
Beautiful.
little, it's a great way to like use scraps and just some fun ways to use these frames. So I'll be showing you that a little bit. And then
That's
we've
so
got this
cute.
guy. Thank you. And this is some fussy cutting. By the way, I will let you know these designs I did. I've been so busy with the reorg and everything that I purchased these from another designer. So I just want to let you know that. So
Pretty paper, happy
credit.
paper.
Happy paper. This is Awash in Beauty. Look at this, beyond grateful.
Yes, I love those charming sentiments.
Oh my gosh. And then here, wishing you everything wonderful. So, and these are charming sentiments. And so 4 cards this month. This is both the team kit. This is also free with minimum purchase kit. And you guys, it's going to be a little bit different this month, a little more bountiful than it usually is. I will have all the die cuts. I will have some of the pieces cut for you, but I'm actually going to give you a 4x6 of each of the colors in the Awash in Beauty paper. So you're going to get a 4x6, and in some cases, you're only going to need the tiniest little bit of it. Of course, this is going to mean you are going to cut your own pieces. But I've got all the measurements in the PDF nice. And then you're going to fussy cut the little rows out of here. So 4x6 of all that paper, plus because I overused some of the other pieces, you're going to get a few extra little strips. So, and those will be right in the right envelope.
See why we love you.
Oh,
you take care of us
too. I love you guys. Oh, I can't wait to see what you guys do with it too. With the extras, and actually even with these designs. So, and then there's plenty of rhinestones. So, and then of course all the die cuts. Now you guys know you always provide the inks and the stamps and the sentiments. So we're going to start with this card first. This is Faith Over Fear. The very first thing I'll highlight is we don't often see this color. Who can tell me what this color is? I know Carrie probably can.
Is it Sahara Sand?
That was my guess. Yeah.
It is Sahara Sand. Good job, you guys. Good job. Yeah, I got a question on it yesterday. We don't often see it, and so we're going to see it this time, and it works so nicely with this petal pink and mellow and mossy meadow. So here, you're going to get in the kit, you're going to get all these ingredients, or the PDF. You're going to get instructions. But I'll tell you what they are as well if you want to follow along. So you're going to start with your Sahara Sand piece. It's just a normal 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25, and then you're going to take another piece of Sahara Sand 4 by 5.25. These strips, I will tell you, you cut them at 3.5 by 1.25. And then you're going to cut the ends. And I'll show you a little tip for cutting the ends. One thing I would say is that the mossy meadow goes one direction, and then these guys go the other direction, because just for a little bit of sass and a little bit of fun. So I'll show you a tip for how I cut those. And then also you're going to get, these are the fabulous frames. These are the ones we used at bingo. These are amazing dies. And here's something fun you can do with fabulous frames. So that's the outline, that's the mossy meadow. And then look at this. Does anybody know which embossing folder that is? This is really testing you guys.
I don't know, but it's so cute.
One. That's the pop-up one. It's like a circle, and then it's got the smaller one with it.
Well, close. It's the Bouquet of Love hybrid embossing folder. So this is the one where it comes with dies and it comes with an embossing folder. And I just took the oval and ran it through the little corner like that and just got some dimension. So these fabulous frames, You can do so much with these fabulous frames. And by the way, because I had to roll it through twice and I got these extra pieces, I'll include that in your kit too. When you get them, don't wonder like, what do I do with these? You get to decide. So we're gonna go ahead. Here's the tip for cutting the paper. Now you're gonna cut it, I told you, to 3.5 by 1.25. And then what I did, because I really wanted the edges to be pretty much the same angle. So I cut the very first one on an angle. And then when I wanted to turn over to the other side, I took a straight piece and I put it on the other side. And I cut it exactly like that. So I got the same angle. So that's just a tip for you. If you're wanting the same angle on all the sides, you can kind of play around with it that way. Just use it as a guide and then you can get the same shapes. And then reminder that the darker one was kind of cut the other direction. So these just get glued on. And I'll try to do that pretty quickly. I've done some stuff ahead of time and some stuff not ahead of time, but I'll show you. They get glued on before you adhere layer to layer because we're gonna wrap a ribbon around it. And so the very first one I put down is the petal pink. And he's just kind of off on the side to his own. And then I did like a little crisscross of these two right here. So I've got my mossy meadow and my petal pink right here, just kind of crisscrossed. Maybe the mossy meadow's a little bit higher. Now you guys, this would be great with any scraps. This would be great with any solids. So take a look at any of your designer series papers. These are all solids, right? So you kind of want to make sure that you're color matching. But then look how pretty that is. It's just 3 little pieces of paper and it would be a great thing to do. I was thinking of playing with the, what's the new name? The one that has like the little teddy bear, the wood. I was thinking I might play with that here because I thought that would be kind of fun. What's the name?
Something Friends. Let me.
Yes, Forest Friends, I think. I think it's Forest Friends. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cindy's trying to get into the meeting, but she can't. It keeps saying you're in another one. And
Okay.
I don't know how to send her the link.
All right, you guys.
That's what I got.
You guys, let me pause the recording and let me get Cindy in, okay? So 1 second to do that. Or if there's anybody here who knows how to get a hold of her and can send her the info. Let me pause the recording and let me get her in the recording. All right. So now, you guys, this was the frame that we used at Bingo. This is Fabulous Frames. Now, when we did it at Bingo, we had used, I used those adhesives that, like, I rolled the frame through on the whole adhesive. And that's really my favorite way to do it. I'm kind of taking a shortcut here, and I'm using dimensionals. You could use mini dimensionals. It so happens that I ran out of mini dimensionals. So I want to show you what I did to make these minis. A tip that I learned using dimensionals when you want to make them really small, like there's a way to optimize getting them super narrow, and that's to cut from tip to tip. So if I cut from tip to tip, that's going to be the skinniest that I'm going to get. And that's what I need when I'm putting it on these frames. So I'm just going to put a skinny little guy there and a skinny little guy there. And then that's going to be that frame. And then I've already put dimensionals ready for that frame. I've got this tied. Now I'll make a note that the length of ribbon that I gave you is just exactly enough. So make sure that you're tying it just exactly enough. If you can't get a really pretty bow out of it, you could maybe put a little knot right there. But now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and this ribbon, by the way, it comes in a 2-pack. It comes in the Sahara Hand and Old Olive. I think it's called Linen. And oh my goodness, let's see. You cut the dimensionals while they're still on the page. Okay, Melody, that's a great idea too. I do that on the edges. I don't do it for the dimensionals themselves, but I do it when I'm cutting the edges because I always use all my edges.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right, so that guy just goes right there. And then I put the oval frame first. I put the inside in the middle second. You could have it just right next to the ribbon or not. And then I want to show you a tip about how I die cut this. So let's take a second and look at Charming Sentiments. Charming Sentiments is a fantastic stamp set. It's got thank you, everything will be okay, beyond grateful, wishing you everything wonderful, wishing you the happiest of birthdays, faith over fear, good luck, babies are a blessing. It's got everything, but not only does it have every sentiment, but you can die cut. You know how when I was showing you the sentiments die cut so nicely, there's matching die cuts that help cut it so precisely. So I want to give you a little tip about how I do that. These are actually all the die cuts in this particular kit, and I die cut everything for you, except I don't do the sentiments because I can't. That's a Stampin' Up! Rule. But I want to show you a little tip that I do. So I've got Faith Over Fear stamped, and then I've got the die, and then I've got this purple tape. And if you want information about that, I can get that to you. We've started selling washi tape again. It's the same idea as washi tape. But do you see how I've got the tape on the metal and then on the outside? I don't have it going on the inside. Why do you guys think that I don't have the tape going on the inside?
Because it pulls the paper off.
It would pull the ink and the paper off. Now, if you put it lightly enough, maybe it wouldn't, but because it rolls through the die cut machine, it does do a hard press. So I'm pretty careful to like tear it and only use the tiniest little piece and put it on the outside. And I don't always reuse my purple tape. Now, what's great, but sometimes I do. What's great about these dies, they just line up. Look how that F lines up, look how that H lines up, and then I'm gonna come down and look down below, and I'm thinking, like it might look that it's gonna cut off the R, but it's not gonna cut off the R, and then it goes up and tucks up nice underneath all those letters, and so then I'm gonna roll it through. I'm not gonna do that here. Don't have my machine in here, everything's everywhere. I've already done it for you. But look how nice and precisely that cuts. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And that little bit of tape makes all the difference to put it through. So, so to put my final steps together, I'm gonna put my oval on with dimensionals. That was after I rolled them through the embossing folder. Oh, sorry. I put the frame first. I put the frame first. I got it nice and positioned, and then the oval sits right nicely inside of that. And then I dimensional this on top, and that's our final card. Oh, I will show you, those are rhinestones. So how did I get the rhinestones to get such kind of a matching petal pink look, right? How did I get that look? So let me show you how I did that. Who knows how I did that? I know you guys know how I did that. Who knows how
The
I
markers.
did that?
With the markers.
Yeah.
I did do the markers. So the colors you'll need, by the way, if you're going to go along with color matching with the kit, it's basically 2 ink pads. It's going to be the Blackberry Bliss and the Mossy Meadow. It's going to be 3 markers at the dark shade. These are the blends. So these are the alcohol markers, or we're going to help color the rhinestones. So we've got Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Balmy Blue. Those are going to be the 3 that we're working with that really match the paper. And then Charming Sentiment set, and either the dies or you can fussy cut with your scissors. So, so to get like really rich coverage, you can use this end. This is a pretty new marker to me, so I'm not ready to sacrifice that end yet. So I will use this end, and it works very well as well. I just think it looks a little bit richer when you're using the other end, but I really only do that when they've been a little bit loved and they're a little bit roughed up anyway. But anyway, look how nice that is. It just colors so nicely, and then you just pop your rhinestone right on.
Beautiful.
So that is how we got card number 1. Super sweet. And then on the inside, you're going to have your basic white layer, And that's just a lovely cards for causes, or just for a friend, or just for anybody going through anything. So that's card number 1. Did we get Cindy in?
Hi, Leila.
Yes,
Hi,
hi,
okay.
Cindy.
All right,
Good.
good. All right, very good. Cindy, I'm sorry. We all had the same confusion. It was my little mistake. Oh, but you didn't miss too much. So now we're on card number 2. And this is, oh my gosh, this is fussy cutting. Oh, I love roses. This is just one of my favorite ones. And this is another card where you can use your scraps to very, very good effect. So let's take a look at this guy. So this is one, when you get your kit, you're gonna get this layer already. So I've already cut one of these for you. And then you're gonna get the upper left layer, because I want you to have extra of this paper, and you're gonna do some fussy cutting of it. So anyway, you're gonna get extra 2 pieces. I'll pop those right in the envelope for you, and then you're gonna get a full sheet of all the 3. So you're also gonna get the tag that comes with it, and the different layers. Oh, where did Mr. Rose go? I already fussy cut him. All right, here we go. All right, and you're gonna get a bow and the tag. So here is the same idea. We're gonna take our basic white thick 5.5 by 8.5 score at 4 1/4. You're gonna take a thinner basic white 4 by 5 1/4, and we're gonna build on this guy. And this is also, I said, we're gonna learn a couple cards for using scraps. This is card number 2. You are going to cut this layer yourself. This is one layer I just gave you the full piece of paper for. And I've got the sizes in the PDF, but basically these 2 are 2.5 wide. And then this one here is gonna be 1 1/4. And then, so this one's 2.5 by 3. Again, the measurements will be in the PDF. This one will be 2.5 by 2, and this one will be 1 1/4 by the 5. But this is a fantastic card to build out. Like, you can use so many different florals with this kind of card. So you're going to adhere all 3 of those, just like that.
I think you were copying this one off of Cindy the other night, weren't you?
I was inspired by Cindy. Cindy,
Yes,
I was
inspired.
very inspired by Cindy. I took a picture of hers. This is slightly different, but I was very inspired by Cindy. And I'm still inspired. I still want to do all those multiple squares. I mean, just think how much mileage you can get when you do either these 3 squares or the one that Cindy did. Like, there are so many ways to just use up little pieces of paper. So you're going to glue those up. I'll save a little bit of time since we started a little bit late. You're going to glue those up, and then you're going to dimensional that guy to the card front. And then let's build out this tag. So to build out this tag, there's a few different pieces. I'm going to provide the bow for you. Again, that's the Sahara Sand linen. And then we're going to stamp our tag. This is the tailored tag. These tags are fantastic. So I'm just going to show you these dies again. Like, these dies, fabulous frames, I use over and over again. Tailored tags, use over and over again. You haven't seen these yet, but these decals, use over and over again. So this is just like, if I only had these dies, I would be very, very, very well served. So the tags are one of them. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp my thank you, but you could take any sentiment. Again, I'm doing this in Mossy Meadow. And because it's photopolymer, I'm going to stamp photopolymer on my Stampin' Pierce mat, because that's just going to give a better, clearer stamping. And then I'm going to show you, Doris, this is what we were talking about earlier. You were texting this paper, and you're like, I love this paper. And I'm like, I do too. That's what we're working with tonight. But look at the fussy cutting. So you're going to get a whole piece of this. And I'll probably have a few flowers that you can play with. And I'm going to show you a little tip about fussy cutting. I've already done some of it. It's gonna work best with our snips. I don't have my good snips here. All my stuff's in the other room, but you'll get the same idea. When you cut, I move the paper instead of the scissors. So if you can see this, please go on mute if you're going to be making a little bit of noise. So I move the paper. Well, let me show you when I get around this corner here. So I keep my scissors still and I move the paper to do the fussy cutting. And so that just gives a lot more control. This is also very similar to doing decoupage work, actually. But anyway, so that is a little tip for how to fussy cut these roses. Now, of course, this Awash and Beauty does have a matching stamp set, and it does have dies. We're not focusing on those today, but I will highlight, like, if you love roses and you love this paper, there's also matching stamps and dies that go with it. And then I've already taken the time to cut up some of the leaves, but I did the same idea. So you're gonna get a piece of 4x6 paper, and I can't control what's on your 4x6 paper, but I will check to make sure there's at least one flower, because I check those details when I cut up my kits. I take a look and make sure you're gonna get the pieces that you need. So this one has at least one of those pieces here, and then you can pick whichever, like darker leaves or lighter leaves. You could even put different flowers. I mean, there's just a whole lot to work with right there. I already took the time to cut some of these up. And so how I go ahead and adhere these, I put the flower down with the dimensional. You could put one or two. And then, since the dimensional's in the middle, then I put the liquid glue, and sometimes I put it on top, sometimes I put it underneath. Today I'm gonna put it underneath. So I'm just gonna put it at the stem. And because the dimensional's in the middle, I can tuck my leaf in pretty far along. And then I can just give it a good press, and there my leaf is nice and good and adhered. And then on the other side, I'm gonna put a couple of the lighter ones, but I was playing with it and I thought it looked kind of silly to have dark on one side and light on the other. So I'm gonna put the light underneath just for some variety and just some tone, but then I'm gonna come in with the dark one as well. So, but you're gonna like take the time with the ingredients that you have to mix and match. But basically you just want a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other. And then the way that I get my bow adhered is I take your pick tool and I put the bow right about where the hole is. Put that right there. I put this, and it's actually, it really is where the hole is, so now it's sticking to the paper, but that's okay. And then I put a couple dimensionals on the back of it. I pop it on the front. I'm gonna pop on some of my rhinestones. Now you could color some of these with the Blackberry Bliss. This one I didn't, I just left it kind of the ice color, but you could do it with Blackberry Bliss as well. And then that's your rose card. So how sweet is that guy? And that really, all you need is just a sentiment stamp. And I can't recommend enough these charming sentiments. So that's our card number 2. So any questions while I'm getting card number 3 ready? And doing just a little bit of housekeeping.
They're all gorgeous.
What?
They're all gorgeous.
Aw, thank you. Oh, it feels so good to be stamping again, you guys. It feels so good. I didn't have my stamping for a while. All right, this is card 3, Beyond Grateful. That actually exactly expresses my mood today. I'm so grateful to be stamping. So this card is kind of, now we're moving a little bit beyond scraps. And now we're just moving kind of into Funfold and what we can do with just a little bit of Funfold. And also I want to show you these decal dies. If you go back at all in the world of stamping, you will have heard of the word of heard the word decal. And if you haven't, then it's time for you to hear the word decal. A decaled edge is like a little bit of a torn edge. And oh my gosh, we spent so there's scissors and there's all kinds of things. And now how easy is it to have some dies? These dies are actually, do I have them right here? There's like, it's like they're rectangles. They go on for days. I don't know if I have them right here. They go on
I
for
love
days.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they go on for days and days and days. You could do all the different sizes. So you can count on me to be using
Are they,
these quite a
are they
bit.
new this year? Are they
They're
new
new
this
this
catalog?
year. They're new
Oh,
this
wow.
year. They're in the annual catalog. And Linda, I will be using them a lot. They are really easy to work with, and you can do kind of a clean and simple look. You can do a shabby chic look. They're just fantastic. So we've got the decal dies here, and look at this, interesting. So we've decorated the whole inside here and put a deckled mat, and then we also kind of have that layered look. So we're going to go ahead and make this card next. And because I give you a full sheet of this paper, which I put off to the side, this has both this pattern, and a 4x6 wouldn't be enough for you, so I'm going to give you an extra 2-inch layer. So just be on the lookout for that in the kit. Now, of course, if you buy the designer series paper, then you'll have all this paper, and you can make all these cards and more, which is a fantastic idea too. I'll talk about my ordering special in a bit, but let's just look at all the little different pieces we have. So this is the 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then we cut it. I think we cut 2 1/4 inch off. Let me just double check that. We cut off. We keep 2 1/4 remaining. So, so there you go. That's your thick basic white. On the inside, you're going to put your designer series paper at 4 by 5 1/4, and that's the pattern on the other side. So you're going to go ahead and adhere that on the inside. Now, I've already stamped the inside of my card just in the interest of television, and I did it high enough. We don't want the word to come out from underneath. There's not a lot of risk of it, but you just want to be mindful when you're doing layers like this, that you're aware of like what's going to happen at all the different stages of looking at it. So I stamped it behind the scenes already. And then this is going to be your 2 by 5 1/4. So you're going to have that guy. Maybe I didn't trim it thin enough. And then it's balmy blue. So now look at this. Look at this fun thing. So this is a balmy blue decal die cut with just a little bit of vellum. So let me show you how I'm going to decorate this guy. Vellum is always a little bit tricky to work with. So how do we work with it so that the adhesive is hidden? Well, when we're going to have things in front of the vellum, it's no harm done to put a little bit of adhesive right behind it. So I'm just going to put my liquid glue right there, and that's all I need. It's all I need, and I don't need to worry about it wrinkling too much. And then I'm just going to flatten it out. I did it far enough away so that it's not going to ooze out the edges, but I put it where it's not going to be seen underneath the Beyond Grateful. And then we've got this awesome old olive linen ribbon, and we're going to tie our little bow. So we're going to do all of this before we put it on the card front. And then we're going to put our heart and our sentiment. Now, what I love, Stampin' Up! Has so many heart shapes. So the very first heart shape that I picked, do I have it? It was ginormous. I'll show it to you. I'll show you the first heart shape I picked. I was stamping with Carol, like, oh, Carol, this is the wrong size. So, all right, so you get your ribbon on and you cut it nice so that it fits just right. And your edges look good. And now you can start to adhere it to the card front. You don't want to adhere it to the card front until you've got the ribbon on it. And so how I did it, I adhered it with glue. So I forgot I didn't have the rest of my card assembled yet, but you would put glue. I just put glue right along right there. It was fine, but you could put glue there and on the ribbon and it would really, really stay. So once you've got it on your card front, then you want to put your sentiment, and the same thing with the sentiment. I did the exact same thing. I stamped it, and then I took the die and I lined it up just exactly right. And I put the purple tape, or you could get washi tape, and I did it. I mean, if it touches the letter a little bit, it's okay. Just be careful when you're lifting it off that you just do it gently and you don't tear it. And try not to reuse it a lot. But this holds it so steady when you roll it through. It holds it so, so steady. So that's going to be our word. And then we're going to end up with Beyond Grateful. And I put this guy on dimensionals. He's going to go right there. And then let me show you the heart that I had first. It was so silly. It was ginormous. It was way too big. So this was the heart that I had first. It was just way too big. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Beyond Grateful. This is ginormous. This is really, really big. So I saved that for later. And I think these are the Give It a Whirl. This one is the Give It a Whirl die, this particular one. And like I said, there's so many hearts in so many different dies, and I just love them. I know Doris does too. So that's a super cute little die right there. And then this little one is actually from the Charming Sentiments matching dies. Not only do they have words, they have like little shapes too, and they have a little heart that fits. So, so that little heart in Calypso Coral could just go right on the inside. So then we adhere everything, and what we've got is we've got this layer and this layer on the inside with our little heart. We built this layer so nicely. We adhered it, and then I colored the rhinestones in balmy blue, and I placed them all the way around, and then popped one just right on the little corner of the Calypso Coral heart. So, so sweet. So sweet. Beyond Grateful. So that's that guy. Any questions before I go to the last one? Is this an okay pace? Too fast for anybody? Or just the good right amount? I know many of you guys are seasoned and don't need to see like every exact step. So, okay, I'm just gonna go to the final card now. I love this paper. I love this card. I love this sentiment. I love these colors. So wishing you everything wonderful. This is gonna be our final card. And you're going to get a 4x6 of that guy. And what I would say is when you go to trim it, I liked a little bit of the white showing. So it might be tempting to like cut it right there. But sometimes white space is really, really nice, right? So we're putting it on a white layer. We're putting some rhinestones there. So when you go to cut it, you're going to get this 4x6 piece. I would cut it to 5 1/4 at this end, so you can leave a little bit of white space right there. So you're going to get your basic white thick, and you're going to get, that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, score at 4 1/4. You're going to get your layer 4 by 5 1/4. And then this guy, oh, you know what? He's not 4 by 5 1/4. He's even a little bit in, probably 3 3/4 by 5, but I've definitely included those measurements for you. And so this guy is pretty simple, actually. I love it when the paper can do so much of the work. So we're going to adhere. Even this side, though, look at this side. Like even just this pretty. It's hard to pick using just one side. Yeah, so this paper is called Awash in Beauty. And so if you wanted to get more of it, it's available and it's beautiful. You could make up a bunch of these cards. There's other cards. I actually have an idea. I got a kit that there's a kit sale going on right now. Buy one, get one half off. Get the most expensive kit half off. Those aren't like Leela kits. Those are Stampin' Up kits. But I want to do some alternatives with some of this paper and product with one of the kits. So I do that, I'll show it to you. I've got an idea in mind. So now I'm just tying a bow off to the side. This beautiful old olive ribbon. And then I'm gonna get it kind of adjusted just right. I hear Wrigley outside. I'm gonna pretend that I don't hear Wrigley outside. I'll get that adjusted just right. And then I'm gonna put, oh, you guys, he's such a big boy. He's such a big boy. He's doing really mature things. He went out and in the dog door on his own today, completely independently on his own, took care of business. I was like so proud of him. Silliest little thing, that dog. All right, so I got my dimensionals sprinkled liberally, and then I laid that there. I mean, you guys, this designer series paper just does all the work. Look how pretty it is. I'm gonna get my bow situated right where I want. And then it's adding the sentiment, right? So same thing. This is the wishing you everything wonderful. And I put the tape kind of in the corner there and rolled it through, and it just does a nice, good, solid cut. So magic of television, I've got that here. I've got a couple dimensionals. I've got 3 just to kind of fit it everywhere because it's going to go over the ribbon. And I see that my ribbon's twisting a little bit. Sometimes with that ribbon twisting, what I'll do is I will adhere it with a little mini glue dot. So I will kind of get it so that it's straight everywhere. And then I'll get a little mini glue dot just right under there. So you can't even really see it, but it kind of straightens it out a bit. And then I'm going to put the wishing you everything wonderful right on it. We're going to sprinkle a few rhinestones. We could color these with Blackberry Bliss as well. So why don't we do that? We'll just do a couple in Blackberry Bliss. And then this is going to be our final card. So, so everything we looked at today, we had Deco dies, we had Fabulous Frames dies, Awash in Beauty, we had Charming Sentiments, and then just a few of our basic matching colors. And then we'll pop on our matching rhinestones. And you know what I did? I sent this card, I sent a picture of this card to Bob's mom. I mean, I just made it yesterday. So I sent a picture of it to her this morning and she's like, oh, so I called her and we had a really good visit. But anyway, sometimes you can just pop a picture of a card and text someone too. So wishing you everything wonderful. There's our sweet card. So fantastic. Those are our 4 cards. Now, how can you get these 4 cards or how can you get instructions? You can do things a number of ways. If you want just the PDF, I will have that available starting tomorrow on the website. Get on my email list and I will have just the PDF available and you can purchase that. If you're on my team, you can buy the team kit and you guys already got instructions about that. If you want to earn this kit, you can earn this kit a number of ways. Watch the email for the hostess code and all the information, but you can earn the kit a number of ways. With a minimum $35 purchase from my store using a host code, you can earn this. With a minimum, the kit of 4 cards, and that includes like all the 4x6s, all the dies, everything I talked about. With a minimum of $50 this month, you can get the kit and a DSP sampler that's 24 6x6 sheets, and it'll be from the annual catalog, 24 6x6 sheets. Plus the kit, plus whatever you order from Stampin' Up, plus your order. And if it's 100, you get 2 sets of cards, so that's 8 cards. The DSP sampler pack, and all the goods from Stampin' Up. So that is everything. I'm going to turn off, well, I'll just give you a little showcase of the cards one more time. And then I'm going to go to the face view to see if you guys have any questions and to thank you guys for being here today. So here's our cards and let's pop over to you guys, see if there's any questions or comments or thoughts. Oh, Jan came. All right. All right, you
No
guys.
questions, but the cards are all beautiful.
Yay. Well, thank you for coming and have an awesome day, you guys. And sorry about the Zoom troubles getting in. All right, I'm going to stop recording.